Greetings programs, we're going to have a look at this vintage Bush radio. We're only really going to have a small look at it because I can't actually get it to tune into anything, despite someone being kind enough to lend me their 9V PP9 battery. Right, we're just going to have a quick look at the features. So if you're looking at one of these on eBay, you're thinking about buying it but you don't know much about it, we're just going to have a quick rundown of the features. So if you buy one, you'll have more or less of an idea on what to expect from one. Right, firstly we've got a massive rotary dial. I mean, it is big. You can put a DualShock controller against that and you get that. It's quite a big dial. If we get close up, you can see that it starts telling us the names of the different tuning frequencies that you can log into. Don't want autofocus manual. So yep, we have Brussels, Munich. We got long and medium. I mean, it might be working okay. I might just be a bit crap with radios. Although I used to use a radio quite a lot when I was a young'un, so I don't know. Right, get the volume up full blast. Now, did you notice that clicking sound? It sounds a bit like the beginning of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. We got the radio, we got all that chatter. I like how it echoes inside the plastic chassis. It's a big reverberous click and I really like that. That's a sound that really appeals to me. And we've got these great big buttons up here. So to turn the radio on, you just simply use the volume dial. Off, on, off, on. Full blast until you can't go any further than that. Then we have very high frequencies, medium wave, and long wave. We have a tone dial. No, it's nothing to do with modems. No, this controls between a low tone and a high tone. So yeah, you can hear that sort of snowy sound. Tuning in doesn't really seem to do much. At the top here we also have a rather long antennae. Oh my goodness, it is long, isn't it? Right, we will have an idea on just how long this antennae is. Right up to here. Yeah, that's a pretty long antennae. Still no tuning. Dialing, still nothing. Right, let's take a look inside. To do that, we can turn the radio round. Right, we have an aerial port, which I believe uses the banana plug. If you've ever seen a banana plug, this is what it is I'm referring to. You screw in those clamps down there. And you can devise your own external aerial, which might possibly work better than the one we have here. And there you go. With that long cable trailing, you have a yet even longer aerial. than previously built into the unit. Down here we also have an output to a tape recorder, which, excuse me if I'm wrong, but is that actually implying that it actually outputs in stereo? I don't know why there's two sockets. Output to tape recorder. Now this indicates that this radio is from the late 60s at the earliest, because well, I don't actually know if these were ever used on reel-to-reel recorders, but I know the earliest cassette recorders weren't available until 1965, I think. First cassette recorders. And yes, this is like some sort of adapter. I think it's the original. That does look like an old plastic. It's gone slightly orange with age. Reminds me of 1950s Lego. You know what I mean by 1950s Lego? Yes. Very reminiscent to vintage Lego. I'm just going to pop that back in. And yes, now is the time to take a look inside. Yeah, definitely going to take a look inside this thing. Heard that. Interesting. Okay, we'll just put this all back down so we can see it. And no, I must say that although we do have a nice looking red dual tip on the aerial, it does very little. And no, it doesn't seem to illuminate. It might have illuminated at one point. I can't really see if there is actually a diode in there. But at least these days I can say it sure does not illuminate. Right, to get this thing open, you need something like a penny or coin, you know. One of those things that you might not have ever actually seen before in such a financially driven society. Yep. Good God, it's seized up. Pardon my language, I'm finding this a rather excruciating experience. I'm going to go find a larger penny. Right, found a 2-penny piece. 2 pence. Courtesy of the United Kingdom, God knows what the hell you call it. That does it. Nice big penny will do. And I do believe that in the 1960s, before we went decimal, the pennies were actually bigger. They're really, really, really big. Too big to be considered healthy. I wasn't there at the time myself, but that is a story that I've heard. Right, so that's the inside of this radio. It's pretty cool actually. It kind of reminds me of a little miniaturised factory, or a little cityscape. This is the thing that I really like about circuit boards. They tend to look like this. Just adjust me Android stand. I'm going to switch the light on. Okay, so we have our tape output, and here we have the battery. Now this is actually the original battery connector here. The original terminals were designed to use the giant ever-ready batteries, which I think are advertised on the back of the shell. Yeah, here's the back plate that we've just removed. If we have a look here, the recommended replacement batteries for this receiver are Everready PP9 or Drydex DT9 or Vida VT9 or locally available equivalents. Yeah, got a little felt washer there, which is actually still in one piece. Got a nice little bit of padding there. And then of course we have some sort of black tape. Is it insulator or something? I don't know. It's actually covering the vents. I don't know what it's all about. Maybe it's the frequency. Anyway, so you can see that in the old days when we used to use these very wide battery terminals. But to make things a little bit more backwards compatible with different brands of what should actually be the same type of battery, they made them extendable. And a simple, so wonderful. In the modern age, however, you're going to need one of these adapters to use it with a modern PP9, because PP9s have gotten smaller with the times. They have shrunk within our untimely realm of living existence. I'm just going to put these back. So yeah, one of those adapters is likely a crucial thing to have. Alright, firstly we've got this lovely grey electromagnet over here. Notice these coils. Well, generally speaking, the more wire you wrap around this, the more power you're going to draw. We've got these nice shiny looking buildings. They look like little skyscrapers, little silos. They're cute. And we've got Celestion, made in England. How cosmic sounding. We've got a little warehouse over here called A2288 to A288, A288. And again we have our adapter. That's our aerial terminal. Go around here, it looks like we've got something that's a bit on the rotary side of things. Nope, it's our dial. That's what this is for. That is our dial. Now if I rotate underneath, this is what the dial looks like when you operate it. Fascinating. So yeah, before the advent of printed circuit boards, we used non-printed circuit boards and the circuits were completed with simple cable, simple wire. I suppose in some ways that actually does help with the repair jobs, because if you're going to use a gammed corrective, at least you don't have to worry about getting too much on the end of a wire. As a big glob would be quite a healthy thing to do in that case, unlike trying to paint gammed on a printed circuit board. So yeah, that's about it. Down there we have the model number plate. Receiver type VTR103. We have a serial number 462 37811. Battery operated 9 volt Bush Radio Limited. It's a nice little serial plate as well. Very fancy. A little bolster. This has a truly timeless look. Reminds me a bit of the Fawn EMI radios from the same era. But yeah, we've got quite a late serial number. This is probably 1970s, I'd say. It could be late 1960s. It has a more 50s, 60s look to it, but I think it's just a late production model. Probably manufactured somewhere in the early to mid 1970s. As I say, the clicking. That doesn't sound like the beginning of Wish You Were Here. I don't know what it sounds like. Okay, happy techno diving. Take care.